Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. So today we are going to have a conversation about nutrition. Now, I apologize. I am in the gym right now and it's a little loud. I'm in the dungeon putting in some work. So I have a client right after this. But I wanted to talk about nutrition today because that's been a huge topic. So, hey, good morning, Jay. Good morning, everyone. How are you? How are you? I am live today. So again, like I said, it's a little loud today because I'm in the gym and I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm in the dungeon. Back here, I'll show you guys a little bit. That is my work area. So right now, while I have some time, I wanted to sit and chat with you guys. We're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about the importance of nutrition. I saw some of your questions. So today we're really going to just dive in and talk about all the aspects of what you should be eating. And we're going to talk a little bit about my nutrition as well today and talk about how I eat and the benefits of just eating the way that I eat. So I'm going to wait for a couple people to trickle on in. I want you guys to ask as many questions as you can. Again, feel free to ask whatever you want to ask about nutrition. Today, we're mainly just talking about what I eat, how I eat. We'll talk a little bit about fasting. We're not going to talk much about it. So first thing first, just to answer some of the questions that I have, snack questions. I get this question a lot about snacks and what can I eat and what I can't eat. I want you guys to just have a rule of thumb. And today I'm not going to tell you specifically what to eat. I'm just going to practice and teach you guys what you should be thinking about when you're approaching food. So we're going to have a cardinal rule, okay? Just between me and you guys, we're going to have a cardinal rule. So if you are going to buy any snack or if you're going to buy food, make sure that it's real food, whole food, not processed, okay? Now, it's so much information out there. There's so many different snacks. There's so many different things that are tasty and exciting to eat, but you don't know what to eat. So what I want you to do is have this cardinal rule when it comes down to snacks. If it has more than 6 ingredients, turn that label to the back, read it. If it has more than 6 ingredients, most likely that is not something that I want you to put in your body. I want you to have an understanding of eating as whole as possible. The game is really simple, guys. And once you learn the game and you learn how to manipulate the game, you actually learn how to get the most out of the game. So the key is just eating real food, eating whole natural foods, putting real food inside of your body. So if you cannot pronounce any of the ingredients, like you shouldn't be eating it. If you can't pronounce the ingredients, most likely it's not healthy for you. So again, if it has more than 6 ingredients, avoid it, okay? And avoid that snack. Now, I know some people might say, oh, what about trail mix? Trail mixes, they have all these healthy foods in it. It has nuts, it has berries, it has dried fruit, it has all these different things. Now, again, trail mixes are really healthy if you use it in moderation, but we're just creating a cardinal rule for right now, okay? The cardinal rule is if it has 6 ingredients, do not eat it, okay? If it has more than 6 ingredients, avoid it. Because we're going to talk about highly processed foods, and we're going to talk about intermittent fasting. We're going to talk a little bit about intermittent fasting. I'm not going to go too crazy on that. But before we even get into that, I'm going to give you guys a little understanding of different ways to help you stay on track of it as well. I'm going to talk about Autumn's program. I'm going to talk about Alana's program. But then I'm also going to talk about my dietary overview on how I look at food and how I approach food. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is Ultimate Portion Fix and To Be Mindset. I think both of those programs are amazing. The reason why is both of them indirectly have been a program that I have done in my life in the past. So with Ultimate Portion Fix, it's making sure that you know what 4 ounces or 6 ounces of veggies look like, or just portioning out your food. Why I find that really important is if you're a beginner and you're just trying to know how much food that you need in your body, using those containers could really help you just get a better understanding of what you should be eating and how you should be eating and the portion size for you. Then if you realize that, hey, that's not enough food for me, then you're just learning like what a plate of a balanced food looks like for you. And once you understand that, then you also understand how you should approach your day and how to get the most out of every meal. Now, to go to 2B Mindset, which is a more free-spirited program where it allows you water first, veggie, silly carbs, and different carbs from basically a complex carb from a simple carb, but she just calls it silly carbs versus the other carbs. Good carbs, I don't know what that other one is, but you girls and guys get what I'm saying. The point that I'm trying to make is when I first started in my training experience, I started measuring. So I'm looking at Ultimate Portion Fix as when I was measuring my food. And then once I became a pro and once I really started learning my body, I switched over to a 2B Mindset approach to where I'm not measuring my food, but I'm also being mindful of how I eat and I'm being mindful of how I feel throughout the whole process. So the same thing when it comes down to the nutrition. How you doing, brother? I want you guys to have that same mindset. So those two programs can work in conjunction and you can use one as one to evolve from. So that's my little input on those two. I don't want to dive into it because we've talked so much about Ultimate Portion Fix and 2B Mindset. Right now, I want you guys, you hear me? You guys hear me? Good. I just wanted to make sure you guys hear me. But right now, what I really want you guys to think about is to take a pen and paper right now and take some notes on basically how I eat. Right now, I'm going to talk about how I structure my day and how I look at food. So first thing first, I try to eat as organic as possible because I want to minimize my exposure to antibiotics. I want to minimize my exposure to pesticides, artificial flavors. I want to just minimize my body from hormones and so forth as that high corn fructose. I want to minimize that. So the first thing that I always do is try to eat as organic as possible. Now, some people can eat organic, some people can't. There's times where you should know when you should buy organic or when you shouldn't buy organic. So if organics are a little too expensive for you, what I do recommend is being strategic about it. So there are certain things that you don't need to buy organic. So say like avocado. It always trips me out. Avocado is one of the ones that it makes, like, why would I buy organic avocado? It comes in a shell. So I know that the pesticides and the hormones are not being affected by it, okay? Same thing with pineapples. Like when there are things that come with a casing and a shell, there's no reason for you to buy organic. And just little things like that that can help you and maximize and just make sure that you guys aren't just wasting your money buying a bunch of organic things. Today, we're going to have a lot of live action. Like I'm right here in the thick of things. So everybody, you guys are going to see everything that I'm doing. Next, alkalize your diet. And when I say alkalize your diet, that's basically just reducing the animal product. Now, I'm not saying to not eat animal products. I will never tell you to do that. But what I am telling you is to reduce the animal products because proteins in animal products are harder to break down in the peristalsis of your body. So it's harder to digest. What you want to do is just have like potassium-rich fruits and vegetables that just help maintain good calcium and potassium, magnesium throughout your body. So you want to make sure that you're eating foods that are just going to help aid your GI tract. So the way I eat is I know my metabolism is affected by a few things. It's affected by my hormones. It's affected by my digestive system. My metabolism is affected by a lot of other variables. All I want to do is be able to aid my metabolism and be able to help my metabolism. Because if I'm eating the right way, then I know that my body is going to metabolize the right way to where I can have this thing burning like a furnace. So what I do is I just mainly focus on things that are going to help me with my food, and that's going to help me with my metabolism to break that down. Another thing that I take in consideration when it comes to my diet is a hyperallergenic diet. So what that means is I try to avoid anything that causes any reaction, any inflammation in my body. I just try to limit common allergens. So most of us, we're allergic to dairy, we're allergic to gluten, we're allergic to certain things, nuts, certain foods. So what I try to do is I find the most common allergens in food and I try to avoid it just as a safety check. Okay, now I'm not sure if I'm allergic to this, if I'm allergic to that, but what I do is I try to minimize my exposure to that. So, you know, thinking of a hypoallergenic diet, will definitely help you as well with just getting your metabolism to just work properly. All I'm trying to do is recharge your metabolism. That's it. And get your metabolism working effectively. That's the only thing that I want you guys to think of and I want you guys to consider when you're eating, okay, is how can I help my body process the food better? Another thing that I want you guys to write down is cruciferous vegetables. So I'm going to get to the questions. I see hello everyone. Cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables are healthy liver aiding vegetables, okay? So we're talking about kale, we're talking about broccoli, we're talking about Brussels, things that are just going to help crucify. So what cruciferous vegetables are things that just help the GI tract, that helps your digestion. So there's soluble and non-soluble fibers, okay? Making sure that we have soluble and non-soluble fibers that go through our body will really help you just be able to break down all that chyme and all that junk inside the body and be able to flush it out of you. So what I do is I make sure that I eat cruciferous vegetables that just helps aid my GI tract. Another thing that I do is drink a lot of water, all right? Because that facilitates everything. That gets the nutrients to where it needs to go, and it just helps facilitate, and it will also help you lose weight as well. A lot of times, a lot of people are holding a lot of water because they're dehydrated. And when you're dehydrated, what your body will do is naturally try to hold on to whatever water that it gets. So with every gram of carb comes 3 grams of water. So what our body will do is if we eat a carb and there's some water in it, it'll just hold on to it until it gets the adequate amount of water through your body. So just like when we starve ourselves, our metabolism slows down and we try to hold on to our fat, our body tries to hold on to the fat because it's what keeps our thermogenic, it's our thermogenic blanket. It's what keeps our body warm. So what we'll do is if we starve ourselves, our metabolism will slow down and carry and hold the fat instead of burning the fat. And so what I want you to realize is the same thing happens with water. If you are dehydrated, any water that you do grab and do have, it will hold on to it and you will carry and you will hold that water. So just drinking more water will definitely help you and to get the most out of your workout and to get the most out of just burning your body fat. So we talked about I want you to remember, alkalize your diet, but before we alkalize the diet, I want you to eat as organic as possible. Then alkalize your diet. Then have a hypoallergenic diet. Then make sure you have cruciferous vegetables. And then make sure you have water. And so then when we talk about the protein, like I said, just a minimum. Eat lean proteins. Eat things that aren't highly processed. Those are so important for you because it just helps you digest and break it down. There are things that I do want you guys to try to avoid. Alcohol, okay? Alcohol will just slow down the process of synthesizing your protein. What happens is it will damage your liver. And again, what I've always been trying to preach is aiding your liver, aiding your GI tract, aiding things that are going to help you metabolize. When you think about obesity, and now we're going to go into a little bit of, oh yeah, halo top is amazing. Now, don't get it twisted. I do have my fun. I have a little halo top here and there, but I understand my body. So again, when we're thinking about food, I don't want you to have a negative look at food. I want you to have a positive look at food. But I also want you to understand that you want to avoid highly processed foods. You just want to avoid it as best as you can. But once you start understanding how your body operates and process, then I think it's cool for you to have a little cheat meal, a little refeed here, because that's just, we live in America, okay? America. And everywhere you turn, there's something convenient, and we just love the taste of everything. So we're going to talk about the snacks. Remember, when it comes to snacks, if it has more than 6 ingredients, do not buy it. Do not eat it, okay? When it comes to your food, try to eat as organic as possible. Try to make sure that you're eating an alkalized diet, and just make sure you're eating real food, okay, versus processed foods. So we're going to talk about how obesity happens. And we're going to talk about the science of it, okay? We're going to talk about how people carry weight and how people don't carry weight. When we think about obesity, we used to believe, there used to be a theory, calories in, calories out, okay? We can call this Cisco, whatever you want to call it. CICO, calories in, calories out. But we found that that theory is wrong. Okay, that theory is wrong. It doesn't. What do you mean? So it's all I need to worry about is how many calories that I take in versus the calories that I burn, and that's how I lose weight. But then we have so many people who are making sure that they have lower calories and they're burning more calories, but they're still obese. What we found is that theory was wrong. There's more complexity to that. And what we forget is hormones. Hormones will affect you. Hormones affect people individually different. So when you understand that it's a hormonal thing, then you understand that the calories in, calories out theory does not work. So let's talk about hormones. Let's talk about insulin. Insulin, okay, that's stored fat. That's your insulin levels adjust all the time. And we're going to talk about how, insulin and intermittent fasting can help. Now, before I get there, I'm going to talk about this, okay? Oh, yes, FFCs. Thank you, Melinda. That's the other healthy carb that Alana talks about. But what I want to also talk about is intermittent fasting. Now, again, guys, you understand that I'm not really supposed to talk about it, but you guys, you get a little special treatment. I want you guys, because there's this negative look at intermittent fasting. There's a difference between fasting and there's a difference between starving, okay? When you're starving, you're involuntarily just taking food away from you. And at the same time, you don't know when your next meal is. There's no science behind it. There's no strategy behind it when you're starving yourself. Now, when you're fasting, you have volunteered to avoid food during a time frame, okay? Now, when you choose the time frame, it is so conducive, it is so important for you to choose the time frame that works for your lifestyle. So one of the most popular methods is the 16-8. Okay, you fast for 16 hours, you eat in the 8-hour window. That is something that I have been doing, and I have been doing this for over a year now, and I find that it has controlled my insulin levels. So my insulin is the stored fat that affects our body, and everything that we do is insulin-based, hormonal-based. What I realized was that I had more control over my hormones when I started cutting my windows to a specific time. And once I had more control of my hormones, what I was able to do was able to manipulate my insulin level. And when I say by manipulating, I was able to control my insulin level to where now I don't have these hunger spikes and I don't have these spikes throughout the day. So by me, I realized that, man, I am training all day. I don't have the time to stop and eat. What I did was I just changed my window time. So when I train, I don't eat. And by the time I'm finished training, I'll start eating whatever time I decide that I'm going to eat. I'm not going to tell you what time because some of you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I would never do that. But I'm trying to tell you is just changing your time windows based off of your work ethic and how you work and how you live your life. So my window is an 18-6. I have been doing that for a very long time. It has helped me control my insulin levels, which ultimately helped me decrease my body fat. It also helped me boost my growth hormone, and it also helped me just have a clearer thought, and I was able to train on a fasted state. Now, if you are training on a fasted state, this is where I recommend body awareness, understanding like how did you feel after that workout. So this is a great time for you to either use your journal that you get from either 2B Mindset, or you use your journal that you get from Ultimate Portion Fix. You can use your journals to track down how you felt, especially about 2B Mindset. That's one of those things that allow you to write down how you feel and how your body and your mood felt when you were fasting. So now I'm not telling you to fast, okay? I'm just telling you what I have done. I'm reading your messages as I'm doing this. Now, what I will say, if anyone is curious about fasting, okay, I recommend you guys taking this book and learning this book, The Guide to Fasting, okay? This will help you have a better understanding about fasting and also about processed foods. Now, our bodies can accept, okay, our bodies adapt. I don't know if you ever read a book called Eat by Your Blood Type, but our body can adapt to anything. Back in our ancestry days, your ancestry might have ate a certain food. They might have stayed near the ocean. They might have been pescatarians, or they might have been carnivores. They might have been eating a lot of red meat. Now, by this book, it means that the only way you can optimize your performance, and I'm talking about a separate book, but I'm going to tie this all in, is by eating by your blood type, eating how your ancestors ate, because that's part of your DNA. And that will help you optimize and get better. Now, again, our body is so good at adapting. Our bodies, if I lived in Alaska, I can guarantee you if I only had seafood to eat, my body will adapt to seafood and I wouldn't be allergic to seafood. And I wouldn't, well, not allergic, I'm not allergic to seafood, but I wouldn't be so hard-strucken against seafood, okay? Because my body will eventually learn how to adapt. What our bodies does not adapt to is highly processed foods. Our body has yet to figure it out. The reason why I say that is when you think about the FDA and you think about like, hey, guess what? When you go to food stores, what do we see all the time? Okay, we see low sugar, low carbs, low this, low that, but we are still having an obesity epidemic. Why? If FDA made a mindful adjustment to now when you buy a box of Cheerios, that it's low in sugar or it's low in carbs, but we're still obese. Why? Do we understand that? And now when you think about it, it's because when you see anything that's boxed, that's low this, low that, most likely it took the most macronutrients out of it. You strip the nutrients out of it, okay? You strip the benefits out of it so you can fit it in a food label. So then you can now mark it and say, now it has low sugar or it has low carbs. So you take out this westernization diet that we are living now. You take out the benefits, the fiber, the magnesium. You take all the benefits out of food just so you could say it's a low fat diet or it's a low sugar this. Now you take the benefits and the macronutrients out of your food to now you're not getting the things that help you, the potassium-rich foods. You're not getting the magnesium. You're not getting the fibers that you need. And now your body can't process it. And now your body can't break it down. That's what's leading to the obesity. Now, our goal is to be more mindful of how we eat. That is our goal. Avoid the fads. Avoid the rule of thumb is a lot of people ask me like, dude, how do you have the body that you have? I just avoid processed foods. It's so simple. Even when it comes down to the fats, you want to avoid your trans fats. You want to avoid the margarine, the butter. You want to avoid these things. They're bad fats for you. You're getting rid of the good fats and you're just putting in bad fats. Now we had this negative outlook at fats. Like we thought olive oil, oh, those fats are too bad for me. I can't have olive oil anymore. Why? You're going to take away good fats to replace it with a transverse fat, not transverse, but trans fat. Like why? So again, understand like if you eat real food, your body will metabolize it. Your body will break it down. But if you're eating boxed foods all the time, your body is not going to be able to process that and break down. When we understand that white flour isn't something that we grow. That has been stripped down. That is something that's manufactured. When you think about bleached foods, those are things those are man-made. Those aren't naturally occurring things that happen in our body. So intermittent fasting has helped me, and I'll be completely honest, intermittent fasting has helped me be aware of my body. It has helped me, because we naturally do it. We naturally fast. Some of you guys fast all the time, but you don't put science behind it. You don't understand it. It's like, I'm busy. I couldn't eat today. I only ate once, and it was after I got off work. You were fasting. Let's put some science behind it. Some people like to fast from 9 to 5, and then they restrict after. Some like to fast from noon to like 9 o'clock at night. Just understand what's going to work really well for you. And it will help you also with your growth hormones. It will help you recover. I have been fasting for years, and I go hard every goddamn day in the gym. And that has never stopped me from my performance. Not only did I go hard in the gym every single day, my performance has increased every single day. So you got to also like understand that, again, when you're approaching fasting and working out, you want to make sure that you are understanding of how you eat. I'm going to turn this right here a little bit more so I can get these people out of the footage. Taylor just wants to be in everything right now. So, but it really doesn't matter. I'm literally in the gym right now. Everybody's putting in work. So I'm going to answer a couple questions, but I don't want it to mainly be about fasting, because if we only talk about fasting, then we're defeating the purpose. And another thing is, if you guys need other snacks, I'm always going to recommend real food first. But if you don't have the convenience of having real food, then this is where your Beachbody bars come in. This is where bars come in to just help you. But I'm always going to recommend food first, food first, food first, food first. Not saying there's anything wrong with the Beachbody bars. So can I do another 24 to 36 hour fasting while doing this program? Now, Holly, I'm not recommending you to do anything. So you're asking for my recommendation. I'm just telling you how fasting has worked for me. If you have been accustomed to fasting, you have been doing it, then that's something that you have to monitor and listen to your body. So I can't recommend it, but if you think you can do it, then definitely do it. What about energize or recover when you train? Is that eating? So there's some rules to my fasting. I sometimes break it with coffee, or I sometimes break it with water. Energize, coffee, that's fine. Like, let's not be a stickler about it. Hydration is still important. When I'm talking about fasting, I'm mainly talking about food consumption that's going in your body, something that you have to break down and something you have to eat. So I'm just trying to let you know that, again, fasting is not something I'm going to recommend to anyone. I'm just telling you how it has worked out for me. And again, anyone that's fasting for 24 hours, make sure if you're fasting longer than 16 hours, make sure that that you have a professional, you have your doctor, that someone who is monitoring you if you're not a professional at this, okay? So the 16-8 method is something that I have been doing for a while, and we're just gonna keep it right there, okay? Again, if you need more information on fasting, guys, pick up a book, learn this, okay? This will really help you. It teaches you about how to do it for an extended period, intermittent fasting, and alternate days of fasting. Please pick that book up. That will help you drastically. Just to give you a little bit more insight, let me talk about some more stuff. Just little tips, right? Now, if you're a soda drinker, okay, I had this conversation with someone who loves soda. Listen, a can of soda, you can get up to damn near about 200 calories in a can of soda. That could be a damn near a good snack for you. Okay, that could be some real food that you're eating. So if you have a hard time breaking soda, what I will recommend is sparkling water. Most of the time we just like the fuzz, we like the carbonation. Sparkling water will help you. I drink ice sparkling almost every day because I just need that in my throat. I need that carbonation in my throat. So like when it comes to soda, try to reduce how much soda that you're drinking. I know that this is like, oh, that's ABC, elementary, but you'll be surprised how many people don't realize how many calories that they get in a can of soda. And you're drinking 2 to 3 a day, damn near getting about 800 calories a day. So just understanding like there's a limit to how many calories that there's calories with every Coca-Cola and Sprite that you have. So just understanding that as well. Sorry, I got a lot of stuff going on behind me. I just want to make sure that I'm answering some of your questions. There's nothing, key, sugar. All right, I always go low on the glycemic index, okay? So what I mean is I go for fruits that are lower in sugar, okay? The reason why is that we get so much sugar in everything, sugars in everything, so I just I'm mindful of the fruits that I eat. I'm not saying that fruits are bad. Fruits are really great for you. Real sugar is good for you. So, but I always go for anything that's lower in the sugar intake on that glycemic index, like kiwi, berries. Those are my go-to. Strawberries, berries, kiwi. Those are things that I love to eat. Now, if you are mindful of your sugars, if you want to eat fruits, you can eat as much fruits as you want. Just be mindful. Again, real food does not hurt you. What hurts you is highly processed foods that our body can't digest. So, that's the only thing that's going to hurt your body is the foods that anything that's highly processed, because our body can't break it down. Do I count macros? I stopped counting macros, Laura. I stopped counting macros years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer than that. The goal is for you to have an understanding of your body, and you don't really need to count macros, but I will tell you this in the beginning, it's always great for you to have an understanding of what 15 to or 2,000 calories look like, or how much fat is into this. Like, yeah, it's always great to do that if you don't know that. So I always recommend that to beginners in the beginning. Like, hey, break it down, understand what this looks like, what 4 ounces, 6 ounces look like. So then when you're out eating, you can stay on top of your goals. Okay, so half the battle is making sure you stay on top of your goals. And the only way that you can do that is if you know what food looks like and you understand. So I'm like trying to maneuver, trying to make sure nobody's in here. I'm like doing a lot of things at once. I'm trying to educate my guys, and I'm also in the gym. So just understanding food. Understand your food. Is it normal to gain weight even while watching what you eat? Now, Maritza, you got to understand, if you're gaining weight, you have to use a food journal. I think it's so important for you. Some people put on weight, and some people, when they start eating real food, because there's more consumption, there's more that you're eating. But what happens is your body will learn how to metabolize that and start to break it down. So it depends on how you're eating. Some people say they're eating clean and you might be overeating. I would tell you this, Maritza, is it might be better for you to count your macros, so then you get a better understanding. Then I can count that and gauge that better for you. But I have some people who gain weight like the first week because they're eating a tad bit more, but they don't realize they're eating more, but they're not eating nowhere near the same amount of calories that they were eating when they were eating junk food. But now, since they're eating clean, obviously it's less fats, less processed. So your body, and you're having more fiber-rich food, so it makes you feel full throughout the day. And so then you start thinking like, man, I'm like full and I'm gaining weight and I'm eating more, but you're really not eating more. You're actually eating real food, and you're not eating a cheeseburger that had 1,200 calories. Instead, you're gonna eat 6 ounces of chicken or 4 ounces of chicken with a side of potatoes or sweet potatoes or wild rice or quinoa with your veggies, and you eat damn near half the calories from eating whole food, real food. So if you put on weight, just monitor yourself after the next 14 days. Do not be afraid of fats. Do not be afraid of carbs. Another thing that I want to talk about, I just got a bunch of notes today, guys. Yeah, let's keep looking, bringing up some of these notes. So, alrighty. So we talked about processed foods. Let's talk about, well, let me explain that actually a little more about processed foods and how our westernization diets have changed everything. When you understand that back in the day, we used to have to fetch, chop wood, carry water. We had to go get our food, and it was in its most organic state as possible. Once westernization came around and industrialization came around, we decided that we need to mass produce. And when we go into mass produce, that's when hormones, antibiotics, that's when we're adding fillers into food. And what happens is we add fillers and we strip the nutrients away. We strip the potassium, the magnesium, the fibers. We strip all those things that helps our body and that aids our body. That even aids our body in the natural relaxation of being able to digest our food and being able to have our muscles recover. When you think about it, magnesium helps us with anxiety. It helps us with muscle relaxation. So food, mental health, physical health, it all ties in together. And so now, since we're mass producing, we're losing our nutrients, which is causing more anxiety, which is causing people to gain more weight. And so when you think about it, all I want you to do is just eat real. Like that's just the only way I can make you understand is to eat real food. When you eat real food, you will be so surprised how much weight you drop, because our bodies are integrated into this earth. Our body is integrated, is an integrated system. So we can eat what this earth has grown, but what we can't eat is what we have made. Our body can't process it. So just take that understanding, do some research, do your homework. What's your take on snacking? Meaning snacks of fruits, veggies? Yes. So when you're thinking about snacking, Ashley, snack on fruits, snack on veggies. There's nothing wrong with that. The only time that I have any say in on snacking is if you're eating snacks that are in a box, or if you're eating snacks that has more than 6 ingredients, because most likely that's not food that you're eating. All right, you're going to be eating some fillers. You're going to be eating some of that. So the rule of thumb, the cardinal rule that I started off with saying is, if it has more than 6 ingredients, don't eat it. Okay, just put it away. Now, again, some of you guys are going to say, well, what about trail mixes? That's healthy. Again, it's a cardinal rule. I just want you to start living that life and start being aware of that, because I can guarantee you it's not, I don't want you to just say, I don't want you to just stop eating. I just want you to start thinking smarter about how you eat. And so if you know that it's under six ingredients, that you know you're most likely eating something that's good for you. And so just keep that cardinal rule. What's your water? Okay. Giovanna? I'm not good with names. Water. Please drink as much water as you can. That facilitates everything. That gets your nutrients to the bloodstream. That gets it through your body, to your muscles. Not only if you're not drinking water, a lot of times women will carry more water on them. They will have water retention because our body will hold the water. So make sure you drink as much water throughout the day. That will also help you lose weight as well, because that is making your metabolism work. That is aiding your metabolism. Again, how I eat, I just aid my metabolism. There is no secret to this. There's no formula pill. There's no fat burner in the world. There's nothing in this world that you can take that will make you lose weight. Okay? You need a pill of dedication and a pill of motivation. Okay? And actually, let's add one more pill, a pill of consistency. Okay? Those are the 3 things that's going to help you. I'm so tired of fat burners. I'm so tired of anything that these people are trying to sell. Like, if you eat healthy, I can guarantee you, if you drink water, I can guarantee you your body will naturally flush out all the junk, and your body will just drop weight. Now, the ketogenic diet, okay? Do you believe in ketogenic? It works for some people. It doesn't work for some others. You know, because the ketogenic helps you aid in your insulin levels, there's some benefits to it. But again, a lot of times people just say, oh, cheese, I get to eat cheese. I get to eat fats, and you eat the wrong fats. Same thing with fasting. People just say, oh, I'm going to fast, and I'm going to have a burger later because I only ate once. No, even if you fast, you still need to eat real food. Same thing with keto. Be aware of the gimmicks. So when people are eating all these crazy pizzas and stuff, and they're just like, well, it's keto. It's keto. No, that's destruction. That's destruction. You're destroying your body. So have I made clients do keto? Yes, but under my supervision with the proper fats, and it helped control their insulin levels, and it really helped them out in the long run. So yes, understand there's nothing wrong with keto. I will tell you that. The book is awesome. Please pick up the book. Soda water. Okay, this is the book. Please pick that up. All right, we talked about snacks. What else do I want to talk about? I have some questions. We're going to look. I got a few more minutes with you guys, but I want to just make sure that I'm answering all your questions. You guys have any more questions about food related? Food related. Again, now see Amanda with the stevia and the fake sugars. If you can avoid it, you can avoid it. Now, the reason why I gave the suggestion for sparkling water and the ice sparkling water is because it's just easier for people who have a soda addiction to transition over to that, and with better benefits for the body. But eventually, again, the best fluid, the best thing that you can take in your body is water, coconut water. Again, MCT oil is awesome. Andrea, we'll talk about that as well. So you do want to avoid, process. But the soda comment was for anyone who's just having a hard time getting off soda that wants a healthier alternative. MCT oil, which is derived from coconut. MCT oil is great. It'll help you with your energy if you're feeling tired. If you're a holistic eater, if you prefer finding ways that just naturally aid your body, MCT oil will definitely help you. You can add a teaspoon in a shake. You can cook with it. It's highly flammable, so be aware of that. You can add it into your oatmeal. MCT oil is something I rave about. You can really add that to anything. And that will really help you just with your energy level, especially if you're feeling tired, lethargic. Definitely add MCT oil. When should we start seeing results if the scale is not moving? The scale's not moving. All I care about is you taking pictures and seeing if there's some inches that are dropping. After the first 10 days, you should start seeing some results. If you're on top of your nutrition, you're on top of your rest, and you're on top of your workout, you'll definitely see that. Now, again, if you're coming in with a damaged metabolism, then it's going to take you a little longer because now you have to fix your metabolism. So if you're coming in as a healthy, wholesome person who has been eating healthy, that has a great metabolism, you'll see in the next 10 days that your body is going to shred. Now, again, hormonal is the key to this, is adjusting your hormones. So on your program, should we bump up the calorie bracket if we're feeling overly hungry? So Heth, that's a different, I like that name, Heth. Depends on when you're feeling extremely hungry. Okay, now I talked about this most of the time after a workout. I'm extremely hungry because I've reached EPOC. Okay, and that EPOC is excessive post-oxygen consumption. What happens is when you work about 15 minutes at 100% max, our body will go into overdrive, our metabolism will speed up. I naturally am hungrier after, and I feel like I can eat a horse, so I will do that. I'll eat how my body tells me. But if it's just me being hungry throughout the day, what I want you to do is be mindful of the foods that you do eat. Eat foods that are fillers, the foods that will help you just to slow down that hunger appetite. So fiber-rich foods that'll help you slow down that appetite. So it's okay. I wouldn't necessarily say jump to a higher bracket, but I will say add a few more carbs in or fill more calories in to see how you feel. If you continue to stay hungry, that means you're gaining a lot more muscle, and now it's time to up that bracket, okay? I drink chocolate vegan Shakeology, stops the bloat for me. That's really awesome. The antioxidant might help you. Anti-inflammatory, there's some anti-inflammatory components in there that will definitely help you as well with the bloat. Dairy. So here, again, dairy is a tough one. Okay, dairy is like, I'm not saying some people to have dairy. I'm just telling you that I reduce my dairy in my body. Now, I have my benefits. There's some days where I do Halo Top, where there is some dairy, and then sometimes I just switch over to vegan. So I'm just very mindful of that as well. Vegan has no way. No, vegan is, if you want to stay away from dairy, there's vegan plant-based protein. There's plant-based Shakeology. There's plant-based protein. Beachbody is doing a really good job with making sure they stay up with the vegans, the vegetarians, people who are trying to avoid it. So let's talk about. So we talked about snacks. We talked about the book. We talked about the intermittent fasting. Again, just eat whole, real food, guys. I got a baby in the back crying, but hopefully I was able to help you guys. And I even talked about my dietary overview. The baby in the back crying, is almost time for me to go. My dietary overview goes to the beginning of this. I broke it down. So I'm going to tell you one more time before I log off. I eat as organic as possible, okay? I eat a alkalized diet. So what I say is I don't eat a lot of animal product, but I do eat animal products. But I minimize the exposure to antibiotics, hormones, pesticides, and anything that's high in corn, fructose corn, and everything such. I do a hypoallergenic diet. So in my diet, I try to avoid things that cause any type of inflammation or cause any allergic reaction, like dairy, nuts, berries. Now, I will tell you that I do eat nuts, walnuts, almonds. Yes, I do eat that, but I try to avoid things, gluten that might have an effect on my body. Another thing that I do, I drink a lot of water. I eat a lot of cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables are this. Anything that aids your GI tract, that helps you digest in your liver. Anything that helps plays as a filter for your body. Foods that are high in soluble and non-soluble fibers. So I want you to think about soluble and non-soluble fibers. Soluble fibers are like psyllium husk. Okay, if you ever buy psyllium husk, it is this stick, like grains in a bag. And what it does is, I want you to think of a sponge, okay? So the soluble fiber plays as the psyllium husk, which is the bristle on the sponge, which helps clean out the junk throughout the body. the intestine, okay? It's scraping. And then the non-soluble fiber, which is the acai berry, just like a powder that you can buy, plays as the cleaning, the soft side of the sponge, where you're just cleansing everything out with that right amount of hydration, that water that you're getting through your body. So that's how I want you guys to look at soluble and non-soluble fibers, and also look at your cruciferous vegetables. Eat veggies that help your body, that does not distract your body or destroy your body. Corn has no beneficial value in your body. Excuse my language, get rid of corn. Now, it's okay to have corn here and there, but if you read, corn is a fattener, okay? And if you want me to really scare you, is corn is what most manufacturers use to feed cows and to feed their animals, and then they slaughter them. You want to know why? Because corn helps them get bigger. Corn is a fattener, and they want their cows and they want their animals to be fat. And so that's what it is. And that's me. That's not funny. But yes, corn is a fattener. So avoid. It has no mineral, vitamin, beneficial value to you. So avoid that out of your body. And another thing about my diet, like I said, I drank a lot of water. And I drink a lot of water. And there's times where I cheat. There's times where I enjoy life. You got to be happy and enjoy life. And I do that both. Okay. So make sure you do that. Let's see. What book joined late? I got you. This is the book. Okay. Please read this book. It's by Dr. Fong. Really sits down and talks to you a lot about the health benefits, how it can help you with diabetes, how it helps you with growth hormones, how it even helps you with performance as well, and all the different types of fasting. And it tells you about the success stories. I'm a success story. So really just make sure that you're just mindful of how you eat. Let me see. Yes, that helped me a lot. I'm hooked on soda. So exactly. If you're hooked on soda, I was hooked on soda too. There was a lot of things I was hooked on. Burgers. I just found healthier ways just to make a burger. So the same thing, like the reason why I preach about Ezekiel bread is because it's sprouted, okay, compared to a bleached white bread that is man-made and that has been stripped of its nutrients. I go for Ezekiel bread over white flour that's processed. The reason why is because I can process it and break it down easier than I can break down white bread. So if you take a toast of Ezekiel bread and you leave it out for 2 days, okay, it will spoil. You will see the bread spoiling and rotting. Now, if you look at that white bleached bread, it's just gonna still be intact, still looking good, still looking like a snack. That bread looking like a snack, but it's looking like the wrong snack, okay? Make sure you have that sprouted grain because it breaks down in the body faster. It breaks down, if you digest it faster, you can use its nutrients, okay? So that's why I go for Ezekiel sprouted. And then I have my ground turkey. Then I can add my little ground turkey in there. I can put lettuce, tomatoes. I can slap a little bit of ketchup on it. I can put some mustard on it, and then bam, I got me a healthy burger, okay? What's hard about that? And if I want some cheese, I'll do some almond cheese. What's hard about that? If I want pizza, guess what? I'm gonna make some pizza a la cauliflower crust. Make my pizza, slap some tomatoes, slap something healthy on there. If I want all veggies, I put veggies on there. I put some almond cheese on there. Bam, I got a pizza looking like a snack. But you guys, and our misconception is like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy life if I eat clean. I have been eating clean for years and I've enjoyed my life drastically. So I'm just giving you tips because I'm just giving you tips because it helped me. When I first started in the industry, I was just eating whatever. And I wasn't seeing the results I wanted to see. I was just eating whatever I wanted to eat. I was working my ass off. I was busting my ass. I was training hard, but I didn't get the body that I wanted. I didn't feel good. And then it was until one day, a good friend of mine, his name is Carl, who's a doctor now. He was just like, hey, man, you might want to just adjust how you look at food. And so I was like, what do you mean? It's like calories in, calories out. As long as I eat less calories and I burn more calories, I can get the results that I want. And then when I realized, like, no, this is more than just calories in, calories out. Hormones play a huge role. And it's about the right foods that's going through your body and how you digest it is when I realized, man, I have been doing this wrong the entire time. Now, Again, FDA is a business. You can go anywhere, you can go to any store. The FDA is a real business, guys. It's a real business. I know it says sugar-free and it says low in calorie and low in fat, but it's a business. They stripped out the nutrients so they can continue to grow their business. All right? Think about that. Pay attention to that. Turn that label around. Read it. If it has more than 6 ingredients, get rid of it. I can repeat this all day, but I'm going to repeat this until you understand. Okay? Oh my God, I was starving after today's workout. I was wondering about eating more. Can't wait to see you in NY. Okay, Jesse. Jessica, I'm going to see you in New York, huh? Okay, I appreciate you. Well, see, you were starving after this workout. Your body said, feed me. Feed it. Stop. Just feed it. But feed it real food. Don't feed it a snack, okay? Don't feed it anything bad. Yeah, well, okay, Melissa, I will tell you this about Halo Top. Halo Top just dropped a bomb pumpkin spice ice cream. That is so bomb. That vegan one is so bomb. That might be my favorite Halo Top ice cream ever. And I loved it. Do you keep track of your food groups consumptions throughout the day? Stick to a range of daily calories? No. Well, yeah, I mean, I keep track of, like, am I eating my fiber? Am I eating lean proteins? Am I eating enough? Am I drinking enough water? Am I having fruit throughout the day? I'm mindful of all those things. I just try to eat real food. Once I started eating real food and then I added intermittent fasting on top of this, my body was just transformed. I've always had a great body. I've always, even before, doing intermittent fasting, I had a good body. I was bigger, but I was ripped. But I just wanted to drop some weight and I wanted to, just see how my body felt. So I switched over and it just did a really good job on me. So these are just a little bit of tips. You got to trust the process, and again, Maritza would say, really do a body composition, guys. Gosh, a body composition. You can do an in-body exam. You could do, my brain. You can do a caliber, skin fold. You can test your body fat. Really test your body fat. See where your body fat is. Doesn't matter about the weight. What really matters is your body fat. And you can also do a hydrostatic test, submerging yourself underwater. There's just so many things that you can do that will help you check to see where you are. And once you do a body composition, then what I want you to look at is how many calories that you are burning a day at rest, okay, which is your basal metabolic rate, your kilocalories that you're burning at rest. Then I want you to take in consideration is where your body fat is. Then with certain new technology, it'll show you where your muscle density is, your muscle mass is. Sometimes it can predict or detect any imbalances that you have. If you realize that you're much stronger on one side than the other side, then you know that you have some type of imbalance. And so it's really easy for you to be able to check and just to get the most out of your training. So if you know how many calories you're burning a day, now I would just be mindful of how many calories naturally that you're eating. And so then you want to try to weigh it out and just see where you are. But again, the whole theory of calories in, calories out is false if you are not, well, it's false in general because hormones play a huge role. And I don't want to say if because I don't want to complicate you, okay? So, and then, okay, so think about it. Eat real. Okay, real food. Real food. Real food. Understand that. What we're going to eat? Real food. I'm almost finished with this, but this is fun just telling you to eat real food, okay? What if you don't have, okay. Oh. Okay, Jessica. I was like believing that until I finished reading it, but I'm not even going there. I don't know where you would take it at. So again, remember, real food is a Ferrari, okay? Think of a Ferrari. Authentic, real food. You know it got good value to it. Fake food is when you strip all the nutrients from it, right? You strip the doors off the Ferrari, you strip the tires off the Ferrari, you strip the roof off the Ferrari, and then you put bicycle tires on the Ferrari. And then you put a tarp on the doors to cover the doors, and then you just throw it to someone and say, hey, here's the Ferrari and this is good for you. All right? Hopefully that makes sense. You stripped all the value of it from that Ferrari, and then you put that in your body. That's the value that it is. So look at real food as a Ferrari, I'm just going somewhere with this one. And look at fake food as a Ferrari with stripped doors, stripped engine, stripped tires, and you put bicycle tires, and then you put a block of whatever in the hood, and that's basically a carb. That's a white bleached carb compared to a nice complex carb that was healthy. Did that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. So understand that. No more corn. No more corn. But guys, hopefully this was able to help you. We talked a little bit about nutrition. If you want to go ahead and take a look, go back, please follow. Go back to my earlier stuff. I'll talk some great stuff, okay? And that's it today, man. Tomorrow, I'm in Arizona. Am I going to see some of y'all? Who's going to be in Arizona? Yeah, I'm just going to wait. Are these messages coming in? It's 333 messages. That's a lot of messages. Sometimes in the summer. Let's see. Who we got coming? Anybody coming to Arizona? Let me check. Sprouted grains. Long story short, anybody's coming to Arizona, I'll see you guys in Arizona. All right? You guys have a fantastic day. I got to go train my client and train somebody's baby that's screaming in the back. But thank you guys for taking the time to listen. Again, I talked about nutrition all day today. And we'll talk more about nutrition because I know that's just the weak point. Almond cheese is good, Alicia. So we'll talk more, guys. Have a great day.